Daddy long that guy. And shout out to Red Light Crew.
Hey, you're one of 12 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
Yeah, you know what? To define that better, I think the key there is... Daryl Cat. I just lost my train of thought.
Episode 131, Nation Real Life, Tyler Yaremchuk, Wanye, Jay, Chalmers, no bagged milk. He's on vacation, but I mean, it's the middle of summer. That's usually when hockey folk do most of their vacationing. Ken Holland is not taking any time off. He did it, you guys. We talked about it for years. Most of us thought it would never happen. Milan Lucic has been dealt to Calgary. News broke around 1:30 in the afternoon on Friday. I'll start with you, Wanye. Your first reaction when you looked at your phone and saw the tweet that said Milan Lucic's time in Edmonton is over.
I was doing something else and came back to my phone, and whenever Rick from the Pint texts me, I know something's happened at the Oilers. And there was 5 texts from Rick from the Pint. What happened? And that was how I got my news.
Well, we were in a meeting, having a little brick meeting, and Bagmill came running down the stairs, popped his head out through the door, is like, we did it. And we're like, what?
You're right.
He's like, I think we just traded Lucic. Just like, holy shit, to who? And then he said Calgary, and then James Neal.
That's an impressive haul. I was at a stag this weekend, so I put my phone away while I was golfing. So I looked at it at like 3 o'clock, and my group chat with my buddies that I play hockey with was like lighting up, and one of them's a Flames fan, and I just saw like the messages from him. He's like, I can't fucking believe this actually fucking happened. And all the Oilers guys were just like so thrilled. But I don't think any Oilers fan is mad about this at all. I don't see how you could be, right?
I gotta. So we have a editor-in-chief, if you will, of the entire Nation Network, and each site is set up with a Slack channel. So there's the Canucks Army Slack channel, the Leafs Nation Slack channel, there's the Flames Nation Slack channel, and it was fucking melting when this happened. It was like an emotional roller coaster to witness them kind of like being like, what the fuck, why did we do this, to then all of a sudden create reasons why it was a good move.
Yeah. Like trying to justify it.
Now
almost.
Flames fans know what it's like to be an Oilers fan.
No kidding. It is cool how like the whole fan base has kind of just been united about this one move. Like everyone just is happy for once. It's a very, very weird feeling.
The minute, exactly. It's not at the same level as winning the draft lottery, but for some reason it felt like something I had to celebrate.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with Cam and Bag Milk upstairs. I'm like, I think we have to celebrate this. So then I ran downstairs to the cafe and bought us a beer, and then we cheersed, and it just felt like that was the thing to do. I felt like I just had to have a few cocktails, and actually, I'm not like, for once, I'm like, I think things are actually going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I like where the team is going. I like how Holland's done what we talked about on an earlier show he does, which is like try and get a whole bunch of people to compete in camp and try and get some of that bench strength for the lower six that Chia was basically heart set on dismantling. I think he's bringing that back. James Neal playing with Connor McDavid could reignite and score 30 goals.
Well, if you straight up last season said, like, you know, after this season's done, the 2 guys that were the most polarizing on our team were Talbot and Lucic.
Yeah.
Right? They were the ones that were talked about the most, in my opinion. You know, probably most for worse. And you said at the end of the season, we were basically going to go 1 for 1 with a Lucic for Neal and a Smith for Talbot. So now we were going to have Smith and Neal. Yeah. Everybody would have thought that was a win. Though you agree? Yeah. And so we've done that. That's great to our like biggest rivals. That's huge.
Yeah. And whatever, I could be so wrong, but I truly feel like we just fucking pants the Calgary Flames in a trade.
Like, from Calgary's perspective, okay, they're only really paying Lucic $5.25 million a year because the Oilers are retaining that $750K. And now Neal, when you look at it from an Oilers perspective, is a $6.5 million player, which is pricey, but I don't think Milan Lucic is ever going to score 20 goals at the NHL level again. James Neal, that's all he's done up until last year is rip home 20 goals. And like, the McDavid angle is interesting. I think the Nugent-Hopkins angle could be just as interesting. Like having a legit second line where your center, Nuge, and Neal could combine. I think like a 45-goal combination between the two of them is very, very realistic.
Nuge will find you. Nuge is such a cerebral player that if Neal, the shooter, knows where to be and can keep up with the play, which is the only thing that is any kind of doubt is has he actually taken a step back speed wise?
Mm-hmm.
He needs some element of skating in his game. But if he still can shoot a puck, and if he's just knows where to be, Nuge being Nuge can find him. And if he's playing with Connor, well then Connor's just gonna be he's gonna get too many passes. So I don't. There is so much upside on the Oilers side for this trade. It's insane. Lucic has proven with us, at least in an Oilers uniform, he has lost it. He can't handle the puck. He's not as physical. He had 2 fights last year, and I think
one was against Smith.
It's like he's lost his heartbeat a little bit. So, and maybe that's just because he came to Edmonton, signed the big ticket, let the pressure get to him, and sure, maybe this is a new opportunity where he doesn't feel the pressure, even though he's still going to be carrying the cap hit and still being paid a lot, and he's not going to be put in the top 6. So like I don't see how he flourishes there, but maybe mentally he'll feel better, and maybe he's a 10-goal guy and he gets into 10 fights and leads the league in hits or something. But like we weren't getting what we were paying for, and now we're getting a guy that actually can score. Like we just solved we need a guy who can score a 20-goal problem by trading Milan Lucic, who was the biggest anchor to the team we had.
Yeah, I think you're bang on with that. The way I look at it, Milan Lucic will never be more than a $2 million player, but he's on a $6 million contract. James Neal's contract isn't good, but I think in terms of value, he can give you $4 to $4.5 million of good value. So in that sense, it works. Looking back at it, like Milan Lucic, everyone before they signed Luch, I think the fan base almost unanimously said we need someone like Nuge.
I remember specifically saying for years in the comment section, we need Milan Lucic. The problem was years went by while we were still saying.
We just didn't get Milan Lucic. That's all. Like we just got the jersey to buy. Like we didn't get the player.
Yeah,
and that's fun. Yeah.
So how are you gonna 10 years from now, when the Oilers have won 3 Stanley Cups? How are you gonna look back on the Milan Lucic era, if you want to call it that? Like, what's gonna be your ending impression of him? Like, is there any part of Luch that you're gonna miss?
No, it'll be forgotten. Like, yes, like trust me, I love Milan Lucic as a hockey player when he is Milan Lucic. We didn't get him. So like it's going to be easily forgettable because in my mind, we're going to look back and be like, that trade is actually what kept McDavid in Edmonton.
Well, yeah, that's what I'll miss was the hype. I love hype.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm just starting to feel the hype from first day of training camp in the NFL. It's probably one of my favorite things, right? The hype.
Would spin this
the
to
hype
football,
kills.
you motherfucker.
I love that part. When we first got him, that felt good. That felt like a change, right? Proves not to be, but
is Milan
felt
Lucic
good.
the worst signing in the history of the Oilers?
You guys would know that answer better than
Oh,
I
I
would.
have no
Why,
idea.
Yaremchuk? Were you born an hour ago?
Yeah.
JK.
Well, you'd have to say like, oh, that's tough.
I'm thinking like relative to the term and the impact we felt he would have on the team.
In the cap era, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it-
I'm thinking about Howie
yeah,
Boulin,
exactly.
Koskinen may be up there.
Costing.
You can get out of those so much easier. Like even
Probably
James
Lucic.
Neal. If James Neal doesn't work, his buyout is relatively easy. It'd be like $15 million spread out over 6 seasons. So a cap hit of 2 point something. Lucic's buyout was bad because
Yeah,
of
it
all
was
the
like
signing
buyout
bonus.
proof.
It was essentially buyout proof. So there is that angle as well. Like while Neal could be on a similarly bad contract, the buyout doesn't sting nearly as much as the Milan Lucic one does. But I agree. Like when he came, and now you look back at it, it'll go down. I think is the worst signing in the modern Oilers history since 2000 onwards.
Yeah.
But that's free agency, isn't it? Like buyer beware, because you think you're solving all these problems with these guys, and I mean, Calgary has it now too, where they had to get rid of James Neal, and he's fighting with the coach, whatever was happening there.
Was he?
Yeah, that's kind of the word. Is that like him and Bill Peters did not get along
Is
very
Neal
well.
a
from the start.
hothead?
No, I just think he wasn't a Bill Peters type, is what I
Yeah.
heard. Like
yeah.
they just wanted more from him, and he wasn't bringing it. I do think there's a lot on him. but-
What I've heard is, and this is all I care about is what the first thing I'm going to say is that he is really liked in the room, and that's all I really fucking care about because right now it's about trying to regain the culture within the room. I think because he's more of a social guy, if you catch my drift,
yeah.
he can kind of be not liked by coach or management.
What Jay's talking about, Chalmers, is a box social, which is when you and all the surrounding farms get together in a central barn and you have a fine dance.
And not social in a bad way. Just
Fun.
he goes out. Like,
Yeah.
And that's fine because
Those are great guys. to
I
have
think.
around.
But if you're bringing your team with you, right?
Yeah,
If you're a team guy, like, I don't care. Like, you hear stories where solid teams would go out every night, and the captain, like a Shane Doan or whatever, would be like, you just have to show up. You just have to show up for one, or just show up. If we're going out, you just have to show up.
You know what? That's hilarious that you say that, because I was listening to something the other day with Rick Tocchet being interviewed, and he was saying that he subscribed to that like really early in his career. One of the vets told him, like, it doesn't matter if it's a team function, you show up.
Yeah.
Even if you're only there for 10 minutes, show your face,
Yeah.
because it's hugely important
Yeah.
in building that like trust in you that goes far, and then you fitting in with the rest of the boys on the team.
So if Neal wants to keep the room light, the team light,
Great.
perfect. I think that's a good in dressing room leader. So like, So like,
And Connor and him were hanging out prior to the All-Star game.
They were hanging out.
The media thing.
yeah, they work out together with Gary Roberts. So
Yeah,
obviously
he signed off.
So here's the thing: you got Neal that went and played in the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years in a row. Was banged up in the last one. Didn't have a good offseason for training because he was behind the eight ball. Came to camp behind the eight ball because shortened season, banged up.
Big
Couldn't
dough.
do the training. Big dough, big expectations, but also he was behind in his progression for that season, and then it just kind of got toxic right from the get go. Didn't have a chance to set up for success. Now he's putting in the effort. From all accounts that we're hearing, he's putting the effort in the off season right now to get his fitness back on track. So if his fitness is there, then he doesn't need to be the fastest guy on the ice, but his skating should be good because he already was a good skater. I like when we talked about this last week on the podcast, I'm like, if we actually pulled this off, like, I can't believe this is even on the table.
Yeah, and we did. We had this exact
Like,
conversation. And
how I just like this could be, the TSN turning point, in terms of like regaining. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Jay brings the TSN turning point up only when things generally have turned.
He's always drinking the Kool-Aid when he does it too.
Yes.
I've noticed
So,
that.
but I actually think like this is like we actually turned the biggest boat anchor to our team that's dragging us down on a lot of levels, and I don't know how deep we can get into that, but I know there's levels, to a guy who is liked in the room, buddies with Connor, and is gonna guarantee us score 20 plus goals for us next year.
guaranteed.
Whoa.
You're willing to lock that shit in?
Lock that shit in.
If he is healthy, yes. Like, if he gets injured, obviously not. But like, if he plays 75 games, he will score 20 goals.
I agree with you. Actually, I'm right on board with that.
Yeah,
I think James
like,
Neal's- I think he's a 20-goal guy. His whole career, he's been a 20-goal guy. So why would that change?
How old is he?
31.
So him and Luch are
That's younger
relatively
than I
like they're
thought.
maybe
He seems
6
like
months
a
apart.
mid-30s type of player.
Yeah, he's 2 years older than Luch.
Yeah,
But
so
I
he's
used
still
to
got
always
gas in the
love him
tank.
back in the day when he was playing
Yeah.
for like Dallas and stuff.
Dallas and
with
Pittsburgh.
Dave Tippett in Dallas.
He's moved
Yeah.
around. Oh yeah, he did play for Tippett.
Yeah. So I'm just like over the moon. I'm like, holy shit! Like, we just got dramatically better. We just like I tweeted it out like, Nuge, you just had your wedding, you beautiful, cute,
Oh, was that
young
beautiful,
looking
hey?
son of a bitch.
Good for him.
Uncle Ken just got you the best wedding present ever. And it doesn't necessarily have to be James Neal. It could be Leon Dry. You now have a line mate. Whatever way we look at it. It doesn't matter who Neal plays with. If he plays with Nuge or plays with Connor. He's now got either James Neal or Leon Draisaitl as his line mate for the season. Like, how do you think the Nuge is going to do next year?
Yeah, and there's a ton. I think there could be more fallout from this deal from the Oilers. You want to talk about potentially a Patrick Maroon return now that Luch is out of the room, and the rumors were that those two couldn't coexist.
Yeah.
So is there a Maroon return? They still have about, if they send down a forward like Brodziak or someone making around that range, they could have between $3.2 and $3.5 million here in cap space. That's enough to bring in one more low end free agent.
Well, and you got to think Maroons is less than $2 million. Like, he's 1.5, 1.75 again. But like, once again, a guy Connor likes.
Yeah.
Guy can score with Connor. Once again, this helps the Nuge.
Will Anthony return if Patrick comes back?
Always.
Well, and now he's just won a cup. Like, the one thing,
Anthony just won a cup.
there's two things to
that?
be worried about Pat Maroon. It's
What does Anthony think?
Anthony would probably love to come to Edmonton because he's the biggest star in Edmonton.
Remember?
Yeah. No, I just
He's in the
put
cup
that
parade.
together. Yeah.
So Pat Maroon, the big rig, just won a Stanley Cup and is enjoying it. Right,
Which means he's going to come to camp 40 pounds
and
overweight.
And he's a guy who struggles with his shape, and that's fine. But like he has a shorter off season, and also it's compounded with a lot of celebration. So we have to, if we do sign him, we have to be patient with him. He's going to take about a month or two to get into like NHL shape for sure, and that's fine. And the second is, what is the second?
Doesn't
Anthony.
he take a month or two to get in NHL shape
the second-
without a Stanley Cup?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Isn't that
That was always
kind
the
of
talk.
like
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah. So he needs his
So
time.
maybe 3 months.
And the second is we're pretty deep on the left wing,
You are.
so we have to
We
get
are.
kind of
Sorry,
we
it's
kind
okay.
of have to just like shoehorn him in.
What I see a lot of these like tweets and stuff where people just list like 12 names, 8 of them I don't have a clue of, and they're like, "This is your bottom 6," or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal with that? Like, why is there so many players there? Why do I not know who?
Because
any
all the
are?
Chiarelli bets for depth were brutal.
Well, no, and we also just signed a bunch, right? And like,
Yeah.
who knows? Like, I'm very excited to see Joakim Nygaard with my own eyes.
Oh, me too, man.
Like, he was the second leading goal
What's a
scorer in the
Joakim
SHL.
Nygaard?
He is the second leading goal scorer or
From the
first leading
SHL.
from the SHL, which is in terms of non NHL leagues, in the top
Mhm.
3, and he's supposed to be fast as lightning.
So we might actually get one of these guys that's like come out of nowhere,
An
Timo
off-grid
Meier,
win?
like Donskoy type of players. That's
Yeah, think of like a lower grade Artemi Panarin, like very much a lower grade. Like he'll never be an 80-point guy. I shouldn't have even said that comparison, but
Or have the
a
nuts
guy
to
who
lip off
just took
Putin.
a guy who just took a very, very long time in Europe to kind of start developing. The scouting report on him, like you said, blazing fast, great hands, doesn't think as well as an NHL player would, and that's kind of always been what's holding them back. But here's the thing:
I'll tell you who he matches up with, but go ahead.
when you play with Connor McDavid, you
Tease.
don't need to think. You just need to go to the net, man, and he can do that.
Yeah, and exactly. Like it's speed, separate. Yeah, there's a lot of upside there. But like, you know what? If he turns into an Andrew Cogliano, who was drafted in the first round because his abilities got him a lot of points in juniors, but he was just a fast guy with some hands.
so now let's just hope he doesn't become like those players like Andrew Cogliano. I always hate when I watch them come back to Edmonton and they seem better on the team that they're now with, like it's an Edmonton curse.
Well, that's a situation of we draft him so high, so we put a lot of offensive pressure on him.
Yeah.
He's like probably one of the upper echelon third liners in the
So
league.
where did this Nygaard come from? How did we just sign him? Like what's his story?
He was touted European free agent. It
never
was
drafted.
No, after proving it for 3 straight years in the SHL, NHL teams were lining up. Came down to Edmonton and Calgary, and he chose Edmonton.
Yeah, and there's a
That's
there's a
fun.
conspiracy. I
Some
can't remember the
bitches
hell
and
That's a
who
good
goalie that is.
story.
Enjoy Lucic and none of this guy.
Yeah.
So, but there's a we signed him before Holland came here, right? Or was it after?
It was like right around that time.
So there's a conspiracy. I can't remember. It's like a friend of a friend is like an uncle to this guy, but I heard that like
Swedish Holland
that in
connection?
January, it was already known that Holland would be the GM of the Oilers.
Because it was known that Eiserman was going to be the GM in Detroit.
Yeah. So
It was known in January Holland was going to be.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
rumors
yeah.
about
So this is the conspiracy. So he already started in what's Holland good at? Finding the Zetterbergs of the
Yeah.
world late in the draft. And so I guess there's and so did his kind of Euro research for who can we sign for value to start fixing the Edmonton Oilers, even though he's in the position of being the GM of the Detroit Red Wings, knowing that he's going to be parting ways and coming with us. So it's if that type of conspiracy is true and that kind of depth and analysis went on a guy like this, he could be a value to the roster. I'm not saying he's the answer, but maybe we have a fucking unreal like Cogliano type third liner.
So even though I listen to this podcast religiously when I'm not on it, did you guys talk about the scout?
Oh,
the scouting changes?
Old Uncle Archie?
Uncle Archie, did you guys talk about that at all?
Briefly.
70-year-old scout coming on board?
Yeah, it's whatever. to
It's
me.
weird.
don't care.
I respect 70-year-olds that have done their job forever, and all they do, like if he's just a pro scout, right? So he's watching pro players. He's not going and trying to find kids in Europe and shit like that, right? Like he's just scouting pro players for trades,
as
right?
long as he's adapted to what the NHL is versus like being stuck in like
I love
sweet
it.
spot
And you know
of,
what?
like-
It goes against everything that I've thought, right? Like when I was like, you got to get younger, got to get younger. I've said that repeatedly. This is the one spot where I don't know that you really need to get younger, right? Like a pro scout is going to know pro players, you know, and if he's been with the game a long time, hopefully he's, you know, he can change with the game. He can see how the game has changed.
Yeah.
Scout accordingly. So
I for one thing, I will for sure, his wisdom will allow him to scout character.
Yeah.
For sure, because he'll be able to see through the shit on some players and call bullshit. That for sure. It's just as long as he's willing to
as long
adapt
as he
to what
understands
needs,
young players,
like-
as long as he understands the mentality of
Yes.
a young player.
Like Milan Lucic of 2019 is Zach Kassian, not Milan Lucic. Right? That
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
As long as he adapts in those in those facets, and sure. Like because I like physical. I'm still old school in the sense
Yeah.
I like physical teams, but they have to be fast and they have to be able to skate.
When since I brought up that it's an AFL training camp today, when's Oilers training camp start? Like when does rookie camp
Mid
start?
September.
Yeah, mid-September. It's still a month and a bit away. I'm very excited for it too, though, Chalmers. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm just biting my nails
All right,
in anticipation.
A couple of minutes ago, you guys mentioned the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins wedding last
Oh,
week.
yeah.
There's
Oh.
a cool moment that came from that. We're going to discuss it in a second. But first, this podcast is not possible without the fine folks at Japa.
Have you got holes to dig, earth to pack, and roads to build? Then you need to call Japa Machinery Group. Does your equipment need a service? You can't fix stupid, but here at Japa Machinery Group, we can fix everything else. With a full range of parts to keep your equipment running smoothly. Japa Machinery Group is a family-operated and Alberta-grown business. Here to help build a bigger and better Western Canada. Give us a call or visit us at japamachinery.com. Japa Machinery Group. Join the family.
Episode 131. Welcome back to Nation Real Life. Jay in here. Wanye, Chalmers. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk. And another big shout to the fine folks at Japa.
I need to. I've got a testimonial of Japa. Good friend and head everything at Japa. Sean Green, the heart and soul of the team, the glue guy, came and helped me yesterday using some Japa machinery, drill some holes so I can put in some fence posts.
Important.
Very important. He brought over the C16 something.
Is that real?
I think it was the C16. I was trying to remember it. I meant to put a note in my phone, but then my phone
let you
was in
run
my
it?
pocket. He did offer. I was scared.
What? You had to do it.
Well, just because there's other, it was tight corners and other cars. But anyways, came in with his machinery on his day off. Good guy that he is. Drilled some holes with this intense skid steer and this crazy auger and made my life so much easier.
How many holes are we talking?
We're talking 5 holes.
Did you get a line locate done?
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, you
Yeah.
didn't, did you?
Of course. Else I'd be dead right now.
Okay, you're looking at me like I might have.
No, we called before
What do
he
you
did.
care, Inspector Joe?
So,
What are you,
I
one
just
call
want-
I don't want him
snitch?
to die.
I just once again want to shout out how good of people they are at Japa, and thank you, Sean, for hooking a brother up and saving him from having to dig some 3-foot deep holes that would have been the most giant pain in the ass ever.
Oh yeah.
On to other things.
Like the Oilers and ex-Oilers wearing Keep Nooch Forever shirts.
Yeah, like basically the best Nation Gear photo of all time.
What a week did
Okay,
what kind of week did we have yesterday or last week?
Let me tell you
Jesus.
about this. So I'm sitting there and I'm away this weekend. I'm out at the lake and I'm watching on my phone, and all of a sudden to our group text with the 7 of us, like the 7 of our friends, JR, all of a sudden the picture shows up. And I don't have any clue where this person got that shirt, because you guys, like you saw it for the first time at that moment.
I knew there was going to be a potential of it happening, but I would have said, because I think we talked about it last week,
Yeah.
that the odds were going to be like 2% chance.
So for the people that didn't listen religiously last week, like I did,
Chalmers, there's only 12 people, and you're
Yeah.
one of the 12.
So all 12 listen.
The picture is of Nuge with what seems to be his bachelor party, and they're all wearing Keep Nuge Forever shirts.
Yeah. So it was his wedding.
Oh, that was like the day before his wedding.
That was it
was a 5-day
I
party
think
in
it came
Hawaii.
out the day after
Yeah, it
his
came out the
wedding.
day after.
The day after.
Oh,
so
okay.
there's a double entendre.
So it's his wedding party.
We as
It's his
Oilers
wedding
fans
party.
want to keep Nuge forever. Mrs. Nuge wants to keep Nuge forever.
She also keeps Nuge forever.
We were really thinking the long game
wow,
with that
this
design.
has levels.
So our good friend Johnny Winwick at ATB, who is just like, great sponsor and partner of ours, and works with the Nuge because ATB is ambassador, Nuge's ambassador for ATB. he just goes, "Hey, Jay, can I get 8 of those Keep Lucic Forever shirts?" I'm like, "Sure, Johnny, whatever you want." Like, and I'm like, "Why do you need them?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna send them to." Calls him Ryan, obviously on a different level.
Oh, by his first name.
Yeah,
Crazy.
he's on a dear friend.
Chalmers, a dear friend of the show.
And so I'm gonna send him Ryan for his wedding, and I'll get him to take a photo. I was like, okay. And then, sure as shit, we sent him to Johnny. Johnny sent him to Nuge, and then he got Oscar Clefbaum, Justin Schultz, Nuge, Matt Benning, Jujar the Hammer Kara,
which is visible.
Baby.
Oh, we have a John Hand moment there. And was there someone else on this?
No, why would I do that?
Of course.
Do you even like hockey?
I do, but I don't. So I don't like hockey because I didn't zoom in on other packages to see if they were like hung.
Not
like
everyone's,
John
you weirdo. Just Jujars.
The Hamaconda.
Oh yeah.
Look at this.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Go Oilers, go.
Kind of hard to notice now that you pointed it out.
Let's go
I
Oilers.
overlooked Wanye's beloved Jordan Eberle was also wearing.
It kind of gives you a screenshot into like the group. That's a fun group. Like,
It's strange that they roll with Schultz.
that was strange.
Schultz is a nerd.
Schultz is a BC guy.
He's just jolting
Nuge the
everywhere,
BC guy.
just coughing up pucks, stepping over himself.
No, we screwed up.
Falling
Justin
down,
Schultz.
being a dork,
No,
being crappy while he was here, the good when he left. Fuck.
I do like that group though. That's a good looking group.
Oh my God! It was like the photo comes out, and we see it. I was just like, I cannot believe this happened. Like, just blown away that like.
So where did
they know what those shirts are?
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing that blows me away. I'm like, Johnny's gonna send them, and they're gonna be like, we can't wear those. But they knew what they were doing, and I know Wanye's built up a lot of credibility with Eberle over the years.
Well, we do go back
And
quite a
Mrs.
ways. There were
Eberle.
some DMs this year.
does he know that he was wearing the shirt
Oh yeah.
of his mom's new
Oh,
boyfriend?
yeah. Well, that is an interesting question. I don't want any trouble at the Eberle house. I've made myself scarce.
6 degrees.
So that happens on like Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, and then all of a sudden, Luch gets traded. The other thing that has been driving me nuts all off season. Like, what a week!
Yeah, it really has been a pretty wild week, and I like the point you made about there was an interesting group there.
Yeah,
Like, it is cool to kind of see how like guys continue to interact, and like how the friend group kind of stays the same, how the core can stay the same even when guys getting moved on and moved out of there and stuff, which is why I want Patrick Maroon back.
well,
Exactly.
Right?
And I think James Neal, if he played on our team
Yeah.
last year, would have been in that photo. And people are like, why weren't Connor there? Connor is trying to get back to playing shape. for
Connor's
us.
hanging out with Cassian.
You're telling me just hold the
and
phone.
Mrs. Cassian on Mom's Night
you
Out.
think
According
Connor
to
wasn't there
Lauren.
just because he was getting in playing shape? Like
Well-
if Nuge said, "Hey, be in my wedding party. Come to this house the night before, and we're gonna have some."
They're
drinks
in-
and we're
they're in
gonna-"
Connor
Hawaii.
and the Nuge are like
They're in
no.
Hawaii.
I got rehab.
Connor and the Nuge are like 6 years apart, man. They're not the same crew.
They were in Hawaii. I bet you. I bet you.
I bet
he
you he'll go to
invited
the
Connor.
wedding or did go to the wedding. No,
Yeah, no, the wedding's already happened.
you don't think Connor went to the wedding?
No, it was all in Hawaii. It all happened like consecutively. Like
Oh, I see.
they got married. Next day, photo came out.
Oh, the dude cares.
But I bet you Connor is focused on one thing and one thing only right now because he's behind the 8 ball.
Endorsements.
It's getting endorsement.
Getting back to playing
going to
shape.
concerts.
Yeah, it's
Music
it's
festivals.
getting in shape.
Yes.
Austin Matthews
Getting
hairline.
his health back.
Ken Holland gave an update on Connor today when he was talking with our good friend Tom Gazzola.
It's strange. It's almost as though he wants us to know what's happening with the team.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. Transparency.
He said that by all reports, he says he has consistent talk with the McDavid camp, and by all reports, he's on schedule. So if he's not ready for the start of training camp, it'll be some point thereafter.
Here's the thing about on schedule. All of my projects are on schedule until they're not. Until they're supposed to be done, and then,
So it's a year and a half for a
and then it's a
podcast
week
studio.
later.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, it's like construction, rehab. You're always on schedule until the schedule's done, and you realize you're 2 weeks late.
And that's why he couldn't take 5 days off to go to Hawaii for Nuge's wedding because that's how tight
They
the
don't
deadline
have
is.
they don't
That's
have
how
rubber
important it
bands
is.
to use in Hawaii for the wedding.
Connor doesn't use rubber bands, Chalmers. He uses
I mean, that's what
bands.
rehab. You don't want to use hard weights.
Adamantium. That's
Are
what
you
he needs.
giving medical advice to
Unobtainium.
Connor McDavid?
I mean, if I was there, I'd probably be able to help. I've been through my fair share of rehab in my life. Probably
Connor, here's what you need to do.
get him out. What
Gary
does
Roberts,
he have
get
hurt
the fuck
again?
out of my way.
What is
you
he?
come
What's
in
hurt?
lit
What's hurt on him
dark.
again? I forget. Knee.
Yeah, something is
Oh
knee,
fuck!
right?
That's the only
PCL.
thing I haven't been able to get back.
PCL.
Yeah,
The ligament
PCL.
I didn't know existed until Connor McDavid.
Only
hurt
Connor
it.
has one.
Yeah, no, can't help.
That's
that.
why he's so fast. He's got like the 9th
12
lead.
ligaments.
Yeah.
Ligament?
Well,
Chalmers is out here giving medical advice, and his phone has been a spinning wheel of death
for an hour and a half.
for an hour
I
and a
bet
half.
you Connor would have a
So,
suggestion.
This morning,
Connor,
I'm
buy a
texting-
new phone.
I'm texting some people, and like when you push the text button, like to go to their text thing, it's taking forever. It's like lagging, right? And everything in this phone is lagging. And all of a sudden, it just goes to the spinning pinwheel in the middle of a black screen.
I put an Insta story up if anybody wants to see. At Nation Real Life.
So
follow us for God's sake.
yeah, so I get in the truck. I think the phone's done. I think it's off, and I'm like, it's not working. And all of a sudden, I'm receiving phone calls in my truck. So I know that it's clearly
I
like
talked to you this morning.
still
on your truck.
actually worked. Well, this was after.
Oh.
So I get in here, and your guys' Wi-Fi is terrible at best. And so I can't get anything to work on my iPad. I want to check and see if the Russians are hacking me because of the Face app.
So that's what you think's happening. You think you're being hacked?
I think that they're stealing my money. Maybe. Yep. Might be. The first thing I do when I find out something's wrong with my shit is I go check my bank account. I'm like, let's just make sure that that's not being fooled with. My credit cards are still in check, right? Because if somebody's going to hack you, that's what they're going for.
Well, you're right to feel that. Like, we can have a conversation about a product, and sure as shit, within like 3 hours, you'll see it on your Instagram feed as a promoted
But
post.
as an advertiser, I would like to buy that. I would like to buy those ads, and they are.
but that,
cannot
that's
buy them.
That's so invasive.
It isn't though. People have proven this time and time again, especially with all the voice command stuff now. People do not care. People don't care about low-level privacy invasions. They will trade them for the convenience of being able to be like, Alexa, get me a pizza. Alexa's listening to everything you're fucking talking about.
But you
Whatever.
instruct Alexa. I guess there'll probably be ads within Alexa at some point.
Well, no, because what Alexa and Google Home's able to do is build a more detailed profile about your IP address. So they're like, oh, Google Home, like this is how it works. People are like sitting around talking about getting a new cutting board or whatever people buy.
Mm-hmm.
Google Home's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but that's the thing is when you say barbecue, when you go to a barbecue store and you're talking to your wife about barbecues, and then 10 minutes later you've got
Pornography
sponsored
ads.
with porn,
Oh,
of people barbecuing
Yeah.
in their porn.
In their porno. I like when people bitch at us. They're like, I went to OilersNation.com online. There were ads everywhere for Russian single dating websites. It's disgusting. That's your cookies. You are disgusting.
Yeah.
The ad network is just showing what, statistically speaking, you're going to look at.
So
the
we
most.
program, just so you know, when you see wonky ads, we program to only see like legit good ads in terms of like what gets displayed from our ad networks. Now,
if you're a freak-a-leak and you wheel into
and you got a cookie following you
Is that
around
right?
your
Is that what
internet
happens?
conquest,
So if you're on a site and you see ads for shit, that's because that's being programmed towards your search.
you've
Yes.
never gone. So say you go to the Air Canada website,
Yes.
and then like you go like on your next site or next visit, and it's like a takeover ad for Air Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that.
You build your model of your ads around it. So it's like if Chalmers has gone to aircanada.com and looked at a flight to Saskatoon, statistically speaking, for the next 72 hours, hit him with maximum exposure of ads going to Saskatoon on Air Canada, and it'll likely route you back. And then if you hook up Gmail on your phone, or you have Instagram on your phone and Facebook, it connects your phone to your home IP address. So it'll be like, oh, Christopher.Chalmers@gmail.com. On his phone is doing all this shit. On his computer is doing all this shit. On his iPad's doing all this shit. And they'll like triangulate a profile about you.
Like I've gone and done like I've gone and looked at flights.
Talk. I don't know what I get what that means, but that's fucking scary.
But that's
kinda.
fine because at the end of the day, then you're not looking at ads for like equestrian training or some shit.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
guess
like,
it's more
oh
of a-
goddamn,
Right.
that's where I should go to get my honey in an industrial quantity. They'll show that to people who are Googling how much honey can I get for 20 grand for reasons only they know.
How come when you buy honey and then you use like 3/4 of it, the bottom quarter of it turns to like that hard honey?
We need to ask Yukon Jack. He's the honey.
Does anybody know that?
Jay, you know a lot about
what
honey.
kind of honey are you buying?
Just
bootleg
like
honey in an
squeezable
alley?
Mr. B honey.
Yeah,
like,
so
like
that's where you
corporate.
fucked up.
Yeah.
corporate. No, this is like
You gotta
Those are
get
the bees, man.
unpasteurized, legit
Tell
honey.
me if anybody's ever had that problem though. You get to like 3/4 of the way done. You
Yeah,
go
it gets
back and
hard.
you look at it the
Yeah.
next day, and it's like white and coagulated or whatever. the hell
It's
the
because
word
it's not real honey. Go
is.
watch.
Real honey. It says 100% real honey.
Yeah,
That's
like,
because the
it's
name of the
company.
petroleum company that makes the
Yeah.
jelly that they call honey is called
Yeah.
100%
The honey you buy, if it's one of those squeeze bottles,
No.
it is cut.
With what?
Cocaine.
Yeah, it's with baby formula,
I wonder it's so expensive.
just like Frank Lucas.
Baby formula.
I need to buy
But
more honey.
if you get the pure stuff, unpasteurized, legit honey from a good apiary, I believe.
Who
that's
has
what it is.
time for
Jay
that?
does.
It's
I've
called
seen
going
him.
to save
I've
on
seen
foods and getting
him
honey.
milking bees individually to get his honey.
I am a far enthusiast of being a beekeeper. I think at some point in my life I'll do it.
So do you know why when you put the smoke on them, why they tame right down and they don't get all aggressive? Anybody know that answer?
I just know it calms them down. I don't know like the chemical reaction that gets experienced. But
you're going to need to know this if you're going to be a bee farmer.
Well, all I need to know is that you need to put steam or smoke or whatever to calm them down. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know the science behind that.
I feel like you got a lot of work.
And all I know is I need to keep
Are you
a
gonna
lot
buy
of
some honey
flowers that they
pre-order?
can pollinate, and then they'll make the honey.
Are you going to buff your honey?
What? Unpasteurized, bro. Like untouched, raw,
I like he's mad.
fucking
I mean,
organic
he's
shit.
what did you
mad at
just
me, just trying to
accuse me
get
of
you an extra time.
pasteurizing my honey?
I don't. What?
That
no,
sound
no,
you
no,
hear
no,
is
no.
8 people
If you
stopping
don't
listening.
if the less you do, the more you get. Or the shit that you buy, you get 25% that's fucking rock hard
Yeah,
at the
you're not-
bottom
yeah, but-
because it's in a cute bear-shaped bottle.
It's easier to spread though, because then you cut
Bear,
the
I
bottle.
mean,
You cut
bee,
the bottle so that it's now like a little tiny like bowl of honey, and you can scoop it out, and it's easier. To be honest.
But who gets squeezable honey? You get a jug. You get a jug of honey, and you take a spoon and you.
Oh, so it's
scoop it
all
out.
hard.
No, it's soft.
I don't know.
You know
It's
what?
not
If I was
liquid.
listening to this podcast,
It's-
which
I
I,
would turn it
never
off.
would, I would turn this shit
It's-
off and I'd say, "What the fuck?"
Do you know
It's
why I
not
have the body
liquid.
that I have?
It is solid, but it's soft. It's like room temperature butter.
Okay, good.
And
Well,
then you put it in a hot drink. You spread it on anything, and it spreads so easy,
I
and
only
it
put
never
on
goes
peanut
hard.
butter honey sandwiches. It's my go-to.
That peanut butter honey sandwiches is the fucking bomb.
Yeah,
And
know
you
what
should do it with real fucking honey because it's better, man.
Thank
But
you,
before we
Yaremchuk.
You trying
God.
to? You want me
Okay,
to buff
so
my
someone with
honey,
some
bro?
logic.
Here's the thing. Here's why we have the squeeze bottles. When I put the honey on the other bread and then I put it together and then I like hold the sandwich, it all drips out the bottom.
Yeah, so it
AKA,
won't drip. You don't
just
want it
listen,
to drip,
just
but then it
listen.
gets sticky.
I'm not getting as much honey, so I have to take the squeeze bottle and add a little dollop
Oh,
onto my next
dude,
bite.
You
to
take a
get
knife
maximum honey.
and you spread it on your fucking bread and just put an aggressive
It-
layer
when
on.
it warms up, Jay,
Then
it
you
turns
put-
liquid. It then drips out the bottom. Even when I use this
Oh,
hard
God.
stuff.
You've not because you're not buying unpasteurized, legitimate. You're buying the fucking fake corporate shit.
Don't tell me that. Tell Erin
There's a-
that she's the one that
I
So
buys
now
it.
you're
can't-
just pinning it on your wife.
There's a Netflix show
I
that
didn't know she was
shows
doing me
what
dirty
big
for the
honey
last
does
5
to
years.
honey. They put
I
like
can't believe she's treating me
glycol
this
in
way.
it. Oh, I just can't believe you're defending crap honey like this.
You know what I enjoy when people are bitching about food
Talk to Bag
stuffs?
Milk. Bag Milk's dad is a beekeeper, and he provides great. We're gonna get you some fucking good shit, and you got to try it. Bag Milk. I know you're on holidays. When you're out in Legal at the Bag Milk farm, grab a jug.
Yeah, and
For
bring
Chalmers.
3, because if it's free, give me 3.
That's
That's
true.
my motto.
For anybody
$3.99.
confused, you're listening to the Alberta Honey Podcast, brought to you by Bees. I hate it when people, Chalmers, are like, "Ew, don't eat that. It's full of chemicals."
Yeah, but people are eating Beyond Meat
Everything,
burgers.
everything
Oh, yeah,
is full
that's
of
the
chemicals.
fakest news
Everything
of
is full of
news.
chemicals. Everything in the carbon-based fucking planet is full of chemicals. Tell me something that isn't full of chemicals, you hippie fucks. That's what I'm saying, Chalmers.
Whole food.
What's wrong with Beyond Meat?
It's got lots of bad stuff in it. Drywall dust.
It's so I think it's really unhealthy for you, but it's not made with meat, and it's just laced with sodium. So it's so
Holy
you can-
fuck! I've gone back to back Timmy's wraps Beyond Meat because I thought I was going to live forever. No,
Oh yeah, don't do it thinking you're getting healthier for it.
you're not.
No, it's just
eating fake
if you're a
food.
vegan
I
or if you
am
don't
not.
eat meat. Well, if you don't eat meat, then it's a solution to get you that like kind
What
of.
if you put fake honey on Beyond Meat sandwich?
Oh, great! You want to jump
you're
across the
dead, you're
table and
just gonna
fight you?
die.
Then you immediately just appear in a different universe, like you could spontaneously combust.
I've never heard two people who weren't in a mental institution argue about honey for that long in my entire life.
But I can't even believe it's an argument.
Part
Why?
of my
like,
life, man. I like honey.
fake honey.
Fake honey. I'm gonna go home right now. I'm gonna take a picture of the bottle.
Dude,
It's
go on
gonna say
Netflix.
100%
There's a
pure honey.
document. Yeah.
And it's
I don't go on
not-
Netflix, man. It's
under
all made of
ingredients.
chemicals.
So, do you believe on a McDonald's patty when it says 100% pure beef? Do you
No,
believe,
because that's not in the.
do you-
it doesn't say ingredients :
Do you-
100% pure beef.
Do you believe it?
No, I don't believe it.
Okay. Because we know that's
What kind
a
of a
farce
question
as
is
well.
that?
Well, it's
When
the
I
same
see a
thing.
tire and it says ingredients 100% pure rubber, I think it's 100% pure rubber though, because it says it in the ingredients.
What about my mixtape? That was 100% pure fire, and I'm 100% that bitch. You believe that in the ingredients?
You know what is 100% legit? The suits you can get
from Indochino.
Well done.
Bag milk's gone.
Well
I
done.
stepped up and
Wow.
drilled it.
Huge.
He has like a big long list of information on Indochino that he didn't send to me before he left. But here's what I
Make
know.
up what you remember.
I think we could all
No,
remember.
I'll sort of tell you the goods. You go to West Edmonton Mall,
Okay.
Indochino, right by the water park on the second floor. You say the nation sent you. They will then make you feel like an absolute boss while they take your measurements, and then you get to go through the a la carte selections while you build your suit of like, what color? What do you want on the inside? What do you want stitched on the inside? How reinforced do you want your crotch?
Can I get it reinforced for the Jujar Cara package?
Well, then
So
it's just not
you-
going to fit well.
You go promo code Jujar, and don't worry, your front is
Your
covered.
right leg is twice the width.
It could be called the Cara condom.
If that's where you, if
you're
that's-
right side
if,
tuck.
if so which way do you?
Well, it depends. If it's after Labor Day, I tuck to the right. Do
Anybody that doesn't tuck to the right.
you ever do
no
a north
friend
of
of
right
60?
tuck or left tuck?
Well, I have to do
That's
north of
north of
60 when I go
60.
6 to midnight.
Well, exactly.
Well, yeah.
You
so-
tuck top north of 60.
Well, this is all things that can be addressed, and you go in. You and like I said,
How long does this process take, JR?
30 minutes.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's not good.
Convenient.
And
how
they're
long
very
does it take
nice.
to get your suit?
I got honestly. So they say within like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I got it in like 12 days. Now, I might have been lucky and hit the lottery and got those 2 days sooner, but like it was
And
crazy
if you
fast.
needed a second suit in a month,
You're
they
good.
keep your measurements.
Yeah, keep measurements. So actually, on the second go around, unless you haven't let it go because it's summer like I've been doing, and I'm kind of worried if I can fit in this suit, you just call up and say, "Hey, I want the purple with the yellow and the blue and the pinstripes and the vent, and I want to be able to have suspenders." And then just over that phone call, 2 weeks later, boom, it arrives.
So I've got very particular style.
Yeah,
I want ultra short suit Daisy Dukes,
yeah, done.
but then a really long coat over top. Can they make
Totally.
that happen?
Of course.
Interesting.
You know,
It is made to order. Custom
Interesting.
suit, Indochino. Go check them out. West Edmonton Mall. Tell them the nation sent you. I look fly. At least I feel fly, which is the most important
Look
part.
good, feel good, bud.
Exactly. I've got my Hope Will Never Die insignia on the inside when I open
Amazing.
up the pocket. I got the purple polka dots. It's legit.
You know what I did in Toronto for that wedding? I tried the no socks in the dress shoes look because the pants are a little short.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of felt nice.
So you went barefoot, or did you wear those like
I
hidden
wore those
socks?
hidden socks.
Yeah. So you got to wear the hidden socks.
I don't
you got to
want those
have
things to
some
stink.
socks. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I do the
Years since
shoey
I
out
wore
of the,
socks,
when I
Joe.
do shoeys out of the dress shoes, then-
Did you?
oh heck yeah,
Oh,
What?
jeez.
like a shoey when you pour your drink into your shoe.
Was it a Greek
Oh,
wedding or?
geez. Well, good thing you're wearing
I
socks.
didn't do it at that wedding. I did it at my mom's retirement party.
Oh my God!
Great
You did
venue
a
for that.
shoey at your mom's retirement party.
Somebody told me to, so I did it.
Ah!
Fair enough.
Chalmers.
Chalmers is a man of honor. If he accepts the dare, he will then deliver on that dare.
Yeah.
Speaking of weddings, I was at a bachelor party this past weekend.
Yeah, you were.
Where were you?
Canmore, Alberta. We were going golfing.
Excellent.
And then obviously, we're guys in our 20s, so we were like, all right, we need to hit the town for a bit. So we went to like one of the two bars.
The Drake?
Yeah, the Drake.
Excellent.
Oh, the Drake is great.
Hey, but none of us had ever been there.
It's big.
The Drake is
Yeah,
great.
confusing.
That's what my story is. So we walk in, and there's like an older rock duo on stage, live music, and we're all sitting there. We're having our beers and whatever, nodding our heads to the music, having a good time. And we're like, oh, this isn't very wild. Like, should we go somewhere else? Like, we're debating it. We were here for about an hour, and then me and not the sister that's getting married, my other sister's husband, was like, oh, why do people keep walking up and down the stairs in the basement? Like, what the hell's going on down there? So finally, after being in this place for like 90 minutes, we're like, all right, well, let's go see what the basement's about. You walk down there, you open the door, it's a fucking nightclub
It's a second
underneath.
party. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it was the wildest shit ever. And then the night took off from there. Obviously, if you go from watching some duo in their 40s play like Metallica, you walk downstairs and there's like Flo Rida pumping through. Holy
Where'd you go
fuck.
for dinner?
Blake, but I called it Balake.
Blockade. Oh, I love that skit.
I call it B-Lake.
So I got this thing where when we were in Toronto and we were needing like a restaurant, we went to Joey's, right?
Okay.
There's so many millions of restaurants there, and my friends all gave me
Very
shit. They're like,
adventurous.
you go all the way to Toronto and all those great restaurants. You go to a Joey's. My question for you is, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I go to what's consistent? What
If
I
you
know is
enjoy
good?
it, why wouldn't you?
Like, why wouldn't you?
Well, why would you want to have a restaurant from a different city in this city?
Because
Called a
just like
fucking
you-
chain.
Yeah, right. So-
People make millions off this concept.
same reason I
I
don't-
like Taco Bell here. I like Taco Bell here.
Exactly.
Everywhere Taco Bell.
I always make it the same, and I always know I like it. The worst thing I'd hate is when you go somewhere and you're like, I'm going to be adventurous, order this thing, and you hate it. One bite in, you don't like your dinner.
One of the things I
Waste
remember,
the damn time.
our buddy's dad did the development down in Mexico. And they got the guy who was running Earl's in Jasper to come down and do the restaurant. Remember that? It was
Yeah.
like a bootleg Earl's. The
Yeah.
best. You can't miss. I love Earl's food. I love Joey's food.
I just flashed like a bunch of nights I've had at the Drake. God, that place is good.
A bunch of nights.
A bunch of nights. That's the only place to go in Canmore. So
Yeah.
I've been there a bunch of times. Went to it a bunch of times.
Yeah, I don't even know what the second option is in Canmore.
Do you still smoke on like the balcony out back, like the deck?
Oh,
I didn't smoke,
I don't think you're probably
Go
allowed
have
to
a
anymore.
smoke. What kind of party is that?
Yeah, have a cigarette once in a while.
Yeah, mix one in.
Jeez.
Yeah,
live
come
your
on,
life.
Yaremchuk. Fuck.
Yeah, we condone smoking on Real Life. Everyone should have a cigarette.
Everybody I know
While
smokes
listening.
when they
I
drink.
mean, wait a minute. No, you should.
Yeah, the Alberta Honey Podcast is brought to you by Laramie's.
Remember, I'm a millennial, so I don't smoke. I vape.
well, you just have to do that outside. don't
Big
you?
clouds, bro.
Yeah. Always,
Was there any
all about
fights?
the big clouds.
And I don't bang. I
No.
get mad at people on Twitter. Not you personally.
But there was like a surprising amount of bachelor and bachelorette parties. Like in the dance floor with the Drake at
yeah.
once, there was 4 of us, all like in big
That-
groups.
Yaremchuk, that's the kill zone, buddy.
Yeah, did
If you
your
see-
group mesh with another
Yeah.
group?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because get this,
Guys group and guys group though, or
it
girls
was
group and
guys group, guys group, girls group, girls group. So like an even number.
Mega
But in
sick.
one of them, there was a girl who was a bridesmaid who worked at Panago with my sister's boyfriend like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was
You
just
had
like-
it in.
Yeah, we had an in. We
Oh.
clicked. It was a great night.
I've
It was-
seen Jay join stagettes when we're at the bar that he's not a part of and be like, well, see you later, guys. And then he just
Don't see him for the
join
next
their
2 days.
stag.
True story.
Yeah,
I'll tell a story about that. We were on White Ave. I think we're at the billiard club, and we were out having a night. It was like the boys' night. There's probably 8 or 9 of us, and this stagette shows up, and it's like 4 or 5 girls, and they're sitting on
Lame.
the table, and they're not talking to each other. And I'm like, and one's dressed up, and they got like the penis cup and whatever, and I'm like,
Oh my God, you got this? It's so gross.
I was like, oh my God, I feel terrible for the bride. Like, this is the worst stagette I've ever seen. So
Mission Impossible started.
So yeah, and I'm younger and more ambitious and don't care or less shame or whatever, and just walk over to the table and I'm like, girls, I have to be honest, this is the worst stagette I've ever seen.
Starts with a neg. That's how you get them.
Got it.
Yeah, and they're like, what do you mean? And I just kind of got into it. I'm like, and so
I have to work in the morning and my hair hurts.
yeah, so I'm like, who cares? I'm like, this stagette is not about you. It's about her. You have to make sure she has the best time. This is what it's all about. So whatever emotional baggage you're bringing into this, fucking check it at the coat check.
You just
Come-
assumed it was emotional baggage?
Well, I said a bunch of things, but whatever it is,
We're
it's
getting the gist of
whatever preconceived,
What time of night was this?
this is
Midnight-ish?
probably around like 11:30,
Oh,
maybe
God.
midnight.
It's not late.
And so whatever,
No,
built
that's
up
good
rapport,
stuff.
and I just said,
Hour.
ladies,
Pass the
if you
time.
want her to have a good time, come with me. So I ditched the boys, and I took this like 5 lady stagette, and we went on a pub crawl up and down downtown.
he looked like the Grand Marshal of the Stampede
Yes,
Parade.
and then
leading
it all
everybody down the
ended
street.
at the end of the night with hugs, and the bride just being like, "Thank you," and I was like, I just couldn't let this. I couldn't let this go on any further. I had to get involved.
9 months later, that lady gave birth to a baby that only eats unpasteurized honey and was super
Dark curly hair.
for James Neal.
Dark curly hair.
when you said you were starting that story, I'm like, oh boy, is this going to be too dicey? Is this going to be weird to put on the podcast? It was fine, and then you chimed in with that, and it made it weird for the podcast.
Well, you gotta have a little element of weird. Now, I may have stayed in contact with someone a little while after, but that's another story for another day.
If I had the Roadcaster Pro, we could call them.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that'd be.
is it-
I'd listen to that
Is
podcast.
he asking for technical technical
I'm
devices?
gonna.
I don't know. This one was pretty boring. They were talking about honey. Then they started randomly calling people that they met 10
So just
years
hold on.
earlier.
If you had a piece of equipment, we could just randomly call people.
We could literally call whoever. When we were talking about honey, I could have dialed up.
What is
Yukon
this?
Jack.
What is this? What does this thing cost about?
It's called the Roadcaster Pro. It'll cost you around $700-800. It's got 6 built-in hotkeys, mic faders, can run 4 different mics. You can record onto Audition on the laptop, or you can record to an SD card if you're doing a mobile podcast. Hello.
Does it have a finger drum machine?
You think of an 808.
You can plug one in.
But you can. Like it has like those buttons that are on those.
Oh, yeah.
It has those. It has 6 of them. It has the hotkeys built in, so you can like put things on there and like fire sound effects and shit.
Like
Yeah.
on Simpsons,
We can
those
create a
clowns in Washington have done it again.
Hot
Boing,
story.
boing, boing, boing.
Hot
Maybe
story,
that's what we
get
should
a
do.
Jamaican,
One of our
horn.
for one of our
Flush.
the opening song, we should create a loop from all of us. And
Oh.
that should be whatever the hell it is. Yaremchuk, it would be his responsibility to kind of knit it all together.
Just go
but maybe
buy
we
it
can
and
do
put an
something.
expense claim.
Oh yeah, we're there. We're trying to get.
No, it's
we're
already
trying to
there.
work out a
He's
deal.
trying to. It's a thing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
I'm just
happening.
gonna like really put the pressure on it now and bring it up every podcast until I have it.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
my
crack
new
and
thing.
buy it if we can't get a deal.
Sounds
done.
like a fun little.
Try and
device.
get a deal done if you can get a deal done.
Yeah, Long McQuaid, if you're listening, which you're probably not. If someone that is listening that has a cousin that works at Long McQuaid,
Where the music begins.
where the music begins, have them get in touch with us.
We can make it. Yeah, it'll be good. We can talk. It can be the Long and McQuaid studio.
No,
Or
that's
something
what
like
we're working on, right? We're
Yeah.
trying to get
Who's
sponsorship.
McQuaid? Because I get to be long. You know what I mean? Anyways. No, bye. All right.
I've got there's something I forgot to mention, and I'm sure.
Is it about honey? I've had
No,
a fucking enough.
It's about James Neal, and I forgot to mention all
God.
this.
We got to go
More
back to
Oilers
this
talk
shit.
for the last 10 minutes. Let's go.
No, just
This time I can go get a beer or something?
call this Oilers if you will. I've
James
got
Neal.
one beef with this trade. One beef to the negative. James Neal has yet to update his Twitter profile.
Maybe his phone's on a pinwheel for the second straight hour.
James Neal is of the means to throw his phone into the lake and get a new phone.
Do you know how much James Neal dreads going on Twitter? Probably that he's just blocked it out of his mind.
Yeah.
But like, he's got an agent.
Lucic changed it immediately.
Immediately.
So, but the thing with Neil would be, he's the one that everybody's like happy with. Like Calgary fans are mad that they lost him, and Oilers fans
No,
are
they're not.
happy that they got him.
They are
All the
mad that they lost Neil. They are
Mad they got
unhappy that they
Luch.
took on Luch.
Yeah.
So it's that's all. Just like I'm if that is the worst thing, I'm willing to live with it. But like, come on, man, it's been like 4 days.
Yeah, his last tweet was a Mark Giordano Norris tweet. His bio says number 18 for the Calgary Flames with 3 exclamation points, and his cover photo is him in a Calgary Flames jersey. I say it weird, don't I? Calgary. I keep saying
Calgary?
Calgary.
I say Calgary.
Yeah, I just shouldn't say it at all. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Like you gotta. That's what gets fans going when you change
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Send
that's
out the
it.
tweet and be like, "Let's fucking go, Oilers fans. Let's get it."
Like he
yeah.
did the interview. Like I like his quotes, loving it, calling it our team already. He's doing those. I'm like, yes. And then I go to Twitter and I'm like,
Luch changed it like
should've
an
made-
hour after the trade.
well, tweet out a jersey. It was a shot at us.
He
for
should have made a play
sure.
on the tweet that he sent to Connor last year when Connor said, "Is it hockey season or is it October yet?"
Yeah.
He said, "No, Connor, it's August." Maybe do like a second tweet right now saying it's still
Yeah.
July,
Yeah.
but like
It's-
have him working.
it's
out
5
in, like,
days
an
now,
Oiler
bro.
gear. Like, yeah.
And I love that. That shows you kind of like the relationship he has with Connor. I love that. Like, you know, when the guys are juicing each other, that's a good thing.
I think he's just a good vet. I think it'd be good.
Of course. And he can score the
Yeah.
goals.
Do you think the Oilers are done
For the year? No.
for the summer? You think Ken Holland's made his last move? Because he was on with Gazzola
A
today,
joke, Chalmers.
and he kind of said like, "You're always looking for ways to
funny.
improve, but the 23 guys ish are like we feel fairly comfortable with what we got type of deal because we have a lot of like guys who have upside."
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to get one more bona fide player. I don't know what position, but just to.
Yeah, me too. I feel like this is a big opportunity now where like I was all about the not punt away this year, but you know, next summer is when Ken Holland can make his big splash. But now, like if you can go out and get Pavel Buchnevich, or if you can go and get like a scoring winger still somehow, think how good that top 6 would be, and you got a little money.
Yeah, so what if who could we trade that's like $2.5 to $3 million?
Gagne, Manning. Although Manning's really because they're gonna bury him, obviously. So
Because
he's really
you know
only,
who
like, 1.5.
you know who you can get because it's already a foregone conclusion he's getting moved. Who hasn't been moved yet is Jason Zucker.
Yeah, but yeah, like Gagne would have to be in that package, right? Like it
yeah,
would have to
so
be
like who because
or
because he's
Russell,
$5.5 million,
Mhm.
so we need another $2.5 million. So how do we get that done? This guy is proven like 50-60 point guy.
I bet you it's a first. I bet you it's a prospect, and Minnesota has to agree to take Gagne's deal, and then maybe you could swing that.
Yeah.
But
I don't
you're
know
probably
enough
asking
about
for a
him,
lot.
but I hear he's a good guy. He won like some the Masterson Award, or not Masterson, but whatever the Community Involvement Award is, and he can score points.
All right, we're almost at the end of episode 131 of
Thank
Nation
fuck.
Real Life.
The honey episode. Can we call it that one?
Yeah, I'll call it the Honey episode. Nation Golf Tournament, though. We should plug that because we need to keep plugging that.
Oh yeah, we've got about 6 spots left, 6 or 7. I'll have to check, but all I can say is, so the tournament's on August 29th. It's at Cougar Creek at 2 p.m. We've got buses taking us from the Lewis Estates Brewhouse to and from. So we're going to have a pre-party, a post-party, a bus party, a golf party, a post-golf party, an in-golf 7th hole party. All I know is, I'm involved with the planning of the tournament.
The party planning committee?
I'm on the party planning committee of one. And
you and Angela?
We have we've got a lot of activation. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be we're doubling down on the experience. And yeah, a lot of good partners have stepped up. Our friends at Canadian Brew House have been good. They're covering all the buses to make sure we get to and from safely. Will Hawk beef jerky, that guy is just you have to try the beef jerky, and then the people behind the company are even more amazing. They're heavily involved, so everyone's gonna have that. But we've got whole activation, sponsors, great prizes, and it's literally gonna be a great time.
Who do I get to golf with?
You?
Yeah. Am I in? Am I allowed to come?
A whole bunch of bees.
Actually, yeah. Do you want to play?
Oh yeah, I have it booked off of TSN because I thought I was in.
Okay.
But maybe I shouldn't have done
Yeah,
that.
no, you're in. You're gonna play with our friends. Our friends at Japa.
Yeah.
Russ and Sean. Russ
Hell yeah.
Bray and Sean Green. They're a twosome, so you will play with them, and then we'll find
That's
you
a good
fourth.
twosome.
Let's do it.
Great
Yeah.
guys.
Chalmers, are you playing?
Yeah,
Do you want to be the fourth in that group,
I could.
or do you want to get forced
I do.
together?
When is it again?
August 29th. Cougar Creek, 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's the
Right
day
around
of,
your-
that is literally the day of my 10th anniversary with my wife.
Well, Chalmers has to
So
No way to
do
say
some
I
soul
love you.
searching.
So
Chalmers has to do some soul searching.
Yeah.
If need be, we could have celebrity guest Aaron Chalmers, aka Chalmers' wife, also attend.
that's exactly what you want to be. You read her mind, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, how you read that lady's mind, but you don't know how to
thinking
buy
of it. So
beet
Chalmers
honey
has a
properly?
tough decision. If you can pull it
It's
off,
really not that tough.
if you can pull it off, and if you see, be sure if you see Chalmers at the golf tournament to mock him for being there, for making the wrong choice.
He'll be there with 2 Red Bulls. One in each
I don't
hand.
drink those anymore.
Wink.
Wink. No, I
Or
don't.
do you?
No, not at all.
Since you cracked, have you come back to it?
No,
Oh, respect.
no. Since been then.
As a producer, the summer always scares the hell out of me, right?
Why? We were able to make a
No,
wicked
buddy,
show
we're
That's
there.
what I was
Halfway
gonna
done it.
say. This podcast was unreal. When
Not
you go from
true.
Luch to Nuge to all of that,
Uh-uh.
honey talk.
Garbage.
How to talk.
There's nothing better than
Terrible.
a well-run sports program in the middle of summer, and I think
How
this
dare
was.
you call us a program? That makes
Well,
it sound like
you
it's
guys talked
legit.
about Big Brother last week, and I wasn't
Oh,
here.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, that Big Brother. Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
you guys have 3 minutes.
Oh,
Fuck
come
that.
on.
We have as long as we need.
Okay, so
yeah.
I'm not
Japa.
caught up.
I'm a
Fuck.
cliffomaniac,
Oh,
goddammit.
you aren't caught up?
No, but go.
But like
No,
what?
we-
Not caught up until
All right,
when?
Yaremchuk,
I
leave the
didn't
room.
watch last night's episode.
Okay, so I'm fine not talking about that.
No, I'm
no,
talking
we
about
gotta
that
talk
shit.
about
Okay,
that.
talk about it. Let me hear it.
Dude,
Spill
okay.
the fucking
So
tea.
going forward this summer, the rule is always be caught up on Big
Yeah,
Brother.
you got
please.
to.
I know.
Because
I
we
need to,
really
I'm
want
sorry.
your input.
What
Yeah.
else
I
do you
know.
do on Sunday night?
I was at the fucking stag.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, you got to decompress from the stag at like 9 o'clock when you get home. There's
Oh.
40 minutes of. Anyways, he didn't watch it. No big deal. He will next week. I found that all of a sudden it got good immediately. When
That has got to be
This is the TSN turning point
Yep.
of the season.
Cliff going to Camp Comeback,
yes,
then to go and dominate as he does.
Sweet irony.
Wins out of Camp Comeback, Yaremchuk, back into the show.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Then-
Household.
You got to see. You had to see the challenge.
Does he
Then-
fucking win HOH?
Yes.
No fucking
Yes,
way.
he did.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
old man, he went from being in
And
Camp
guess-
Comeback and fucked
and so it was
to
one of those-
destroying everybody in the Camp Comeback.
It was one of those ones where you have to like buzz in, and if
Yeah.
everybody's in
This
a
is
row
the
and they're all
HOH.
partitioned between each other. So it's between him and one other person. And who, in the sweet irony, would you want to see him go against? Jackson.
Yeah.
Aquaman.
And so it's Aquaman versus what he called himself. What did he say? Old man versus Aquaman. And Jack's just like, oh, I'm gonna be the bad guy here always. But if I lose, and sure as shit, he loses, and not even like lost, like close. Cliff buzzed in like quick, and the dude was just standing there dumbfounded.
Cliff
It was
Cliff
awesome.
is showed up,
Shit.
and the best thing about Cliff
His-
is his celebration.
Oh my
dance.
god, I watched it 4 times.
So his
That was a good one.
celebration's great, but then he dances by himself in the storage room.
Oh, yeah.
It is so good.
Oh, you gotta
Never
love
in the
Cliff.
history
So
of
bad.
Big Brother, never in the history of Big Brother, any countries, can I recall someone being so fucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Swimming, it's like when you flush a hamster down the toilet because it's time to kill it.
Yeah.
And it swims against the current, climbs out of the toilet, and starts a Broadway play.
So let's make sure we just don't tell him who he puts up. because it's like let's leave it. In
Oh
that.
no,
Yeah.
you got to.
No,
I
we
wanna
don't need to
tell
do
him
that.
that-
Please
gets
tell
so
me
excited.
he goes like Jackson Mickey.
Yes.
That's exactly what he does.
Yes. Right,
And then
man.
it goes and just does a power move.
Yes.
Now the concern is
Yeah.
what's the Staten Island girl's name? Staten Island girl?
Stacy.
Stacy?
No, Christy.
Christy. So Mickey thinks that Christy's going to use her diamond power veto. She's not, and we're not sure if she is.
It's
She's
the one that turns
unsure.
the veto
Yeah,
into
yeah.
whoever goes. Yeah, gets to pick.
If
the
she's
veto.
smart, yeah. So that's the only risk that might kind of tamper his HOH. But like Cliff has showed up and he is flexing, and it ain't weird.
I love it when he throws out. I've been all around the world. I've had guns pulled on me. I've been
Yeah.
through checkpoints and all this. These kids aren't going to intimidate
I'm not
me.
scared
And
of
then they
Mickey.
go and they show everybody come and talking to him like he's the belle at the ball.
Yeah.
And both Mickey and Jackson come in and just think that they can just like, tell him everything he wants to hear and tell him what he should do and all this shit. And like he's a dumb old man. And he just goes into the diary room and just like, at times even they're talking to him and he's looking up at the camera like, are these guys fucking serious? It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really,
I
really
do not
good.
enjoy Mickey, and I do not enjoy Aquaman.
What's so funny is I liked that group because like I just like that group. I always like a powerful group for some reason.
Yeah,
I always
me
get
too.
drawn to it, right? But then when they started the just being I don't want to say bullies.
They were just fucking
They were just
assholes.
being
That
assholes.
Bella is an absolute nerd.
When,
Let's
when,
not
Ovi,
fucking-
when, Ovi
trust
asks,
her.
when Ovi asks Jackson if he can talk to him and he slaps his hand, turns around and goes, let's talk. What's up?
Yeah.
And you just go,
Yeah.
that was
He's a
my heel
loser.
turn for him when I went, this guy's a fucking loser.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
I can't stand
He's not a good person.
No.
He's not a good person.
No.
And that's
Neither
the thing. I
is
don't
that
mind. I
fella.
like
I wasn't
powerful
even-
alliances
I
if
wasn't
they're
even-
good people, that good like a good team. They're
I
all.
wasn't even
oh.
mad with his passive aggressive way of telling Kemi not to put her drink in the fridge.
That was pretty good because
That was pretty
Kemi's
good.
so annoying.
Yeah,
Right,
that,
but
he was.
like-
I
But, like,
wasn't
at that
offended by
point,
that.
You could have been like, this fucking guy thinks he's the best. But it was at that exact moment. And like, I still kind of like Mickey, but I also think he's
No,
like,
he's a
kind of-
dork.
He's an amalgamation of everything I dislike in what a young American, like,
Mickey thinks he has it all
Look-
figured out, but how he executes is horrific.
yeah.
The thing that also drove, and this is much more lower down in the Big Brother totem pole of things, but Ovi getting the right to winning that freaky challenge,
Yeah.
but he was already fucked.
Yeah.
Then had to
Yeah.
go sit in the camp comeback.
Yeah.
Fucked the entire time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people getting their feelings hurt in this show, though.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
heartbreaking year. Kind
Oh,
of, yeah.
Christy
sort
going
of.
crazy for that 2 minutes?
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
She
that-
convinced
that was
yeah, you
that
saw
was
that.
so
weird.
That
So
was
weird.
just
It's because she had the diamond veto. She was just getting in her own head. That,
But
like,
and then
if
we
I get-
found out she's told everyone about it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
geez, you got to keep that shit under wraps.
Oh.
Don't tell Bella anything.
Well, yeah, but
Can't
Bella
tell her
knows. That's the first. People,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, Jesus. So this is the beauty thing about Cliff. Cliff is the guy that last week formed an alliance with Nicole and Ovi, a guy who's in camp comeback, and that's his alliance.
Yeah.
To now being ousted, coming back, winning HOH, and then potentially pulling off the biggest power move of the
Those
season.
6 shooters.
This early
they
in
did
the
a dumb-
season.
But they did a dumb move. Like, that was a stupid move to go against Bella, Sam, and Nick. Because, like, they should have told them that they wanted to flip it. Then they could have all been together. This whole Cliff thing probably never happens.
It's because the 6 shooters is being run by Jackson and Mickey. They're both idiots, man.
Yeah, they really
They're
are.
both idiots.
They're
Like
just
they
like power-hungry
have
assholes.
no leadership qualities whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to be the alpha that wins everything, you got to be muscly, but also get the Nicoles of the world to work with you.
yeah.
And like when you have that big of a group, just play your odds. Just chisel down the crew until you only have the 9 left or whatever the fuck it is. But they're like,
Don't
sometimes
actively
they
divide
include
them.
they
Yeah.
include the truck driver, sometimes they don't.
love
we
Sam.
actually have a fucking 6 group, sometimes we don't. Like it's all fucking bullshit. I think that they could probably get split in half with a little bit of Cliff leadership.
They're the worst alliance ever.
They're awful.
They're just imploding. But
Well, they are. And the 6 couples are in a position right now. They're poised to get that if Sam and Nicole and Cliff, Nicole, if that whole side of the house gets Bella and Sam and Nick, is it 6 on 6 at that point? But with the couples losing somebody,
I think what they need to do, so if they get out one of the Jaxes, if
Yeah.
you will, honestly, I think truck driver Sam and Staten Island girl and Tommy,
Yep.
because they're a couple, should join Cliff
and just
Nicole,
pick off Mickey, Holly, and Annalise.
pick off that other side. I think that's what they should.
And they could.
But
they
but
could, and I
Annalise
think
Holly,
that's-
they're kind of playing like the Angela way. They're not really doing much.
They're
right
not
now.
doing, and they're
so
and they're
boring.
hanging off. They're hanging off,
and they're
and they're just
hanging
kind
on
of floating,
the
right?
strength of the group. And if the minute that group crumbles,
They're done.
They're done
because they've already played. They've already drawn their line in the sand. So that's why I would jump off that sinking ship onto the other side and then start just picking them off.
Did they
Especially
drink
when
on
you
that
got
show?
Cliff Hogg fucking throwing up the money.
Oh,
Manziel
man.
hands.
He was doing money.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
Burst
Like,
his
his
buttons.
face, like,
What was the
his face,
start
like-
of his celebration?
He,
move?
he, he
Pow!
goes.
He does a Cam Newton.
He pounds his chest, rips it open,
Rips it
like
open.
Superman,
with the
and then
face.
Oh, is that what
so
that
he
is?
does, yeah. So he does a pound, and then into the Cam Newton Superman chest rip,
Oh.
and then into the Money Manziel, and it's just like, where
Oh,
did he come
it's
up with
just.
this thing?
Oh, it's so good.
He needs to stop his Cliff Notes. They are going to.
Well,
be
they
the
told
death
him.
of him. Yeah. I
Because
know.
he got Christy.
But
heard
and
it.
that was the other thing. Those 8 in that room. Sorry, okay, this will be the last thing.
Yeah.
Those 8 in that room when they were coming apart, they had to know that everybody else in the house was sitting outside listening to
But
them.
the thing is, they're so stupid. They don't
They
think it
just don't
matters.
care.
Yeah,
We're
they-
just talking game. We're just talking game. Yeah, fucking 8 of you, because obviously
Yeah.
now everyone knows
Yeah.
you're in an alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really.
And then
really tough
Mickey's
to
like,
figure
"Yeah,
out.
we know there's an 8-person alliance." When Mickey's talking to
Sam.
to Cliff, because he initially went to
Oh,
Cliff
yeah, and
after
he
he
says
won. He'd be
no.
like, "Hey, Cliff, just so you know, like that was the plan. We knew you were gonna have the best chance to come." Like that's how arrogant he thinks. He thinks he
Yeah.
can go and tell Cliff what to think.
I liked Cliff talking with Bella, being like, "You can go and be duplicitous and scheming. Just do it for me." And she's like, and ran out of the room, scuttling away.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh.
Well,
But
the
yes.
season's getting good in a hurry.
Are her and the
Yeah.
guy? What's her showman's name?
Nick.
Is this consummated?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't watch After Dark.
I don't
I do.
either. Yeah, just
Do you actually?
Yeah. Pop TV, whatever.
All right, well, I love that we end all of our episodes now on Big Brother Talk. That was
So
great.
good.
Nation Real Life episode 131 is over.
Excuse me there. I just lost my train of thought.